Hello, hello. Managed to get the setup surprisingly quick. I'm not even that late. I am quite literally only 2 minutes late, so that's not terrible. At some point I need to work on getting the playlist set up a bit more. They had to make one quick fix there. That's okay. So I do like pretty much all the music that's on the playlist, but so many things are maybe not what fits for the stream. I've got some ideas though, just to try and make a nice setup that will work for the possible no recognition days on either Mondays or some other day of the week. Upgrades to vocalize or are taking a lot longer than expected. We have not been getting too much progress on it. It's a very tricky situation of dealing with a lot of old libraries that don't want to play nice. But then again, I'm old software, so it's going to happen. Hey dog, hey duck. We got both of them that time. How are you doing tonight? I'm doing fine. It's been a nice sort of chill day. Not a lot of progress on reading vocalize or anything like that, but day job has been a bit tougher than usual, so I'm surprised they just need some time to rest. Yeah, I was Steven telling you on that stream to get some sleep, doc. That's right, Steven telling you. Who is Steven? I dunno. Yeah, either way, I'm trying to get some work done on the upgrades, but it's just being tricky. It gets difficult when you're an old program like this and you're dealing off all these old libraries. Hey, Frupa. The quack command only works for Doc. I can start adding some extra special commands at some point. But either way, it's nice to have you here. If you tell me what kind of command you've won, I can make you one. But as well, I know it's kind of late for you, so don't stay up too long, you know. Both of those options are fine. And Duck, you're fine, you have been here the longest, so... Although he let me go ahead and start moving over to the game while I'm at it. I do have a lot of stuff I would like to play. And Night Ranker. Problem with being limited in the amount of time I can stream and also the data I can use. Is that there's a lot of stuff I'd like to play, but I don't know if I have the room to do it. I could play Pong Goes against Duck, but where it need to go to our scheduled game for the week. Not this one, there we go. At this point, Duluth Town is basically the mainstream game. But there's a lot of stuff I would like to play. I'm just going to have to see if I can find the time to do it. Yeah, and Deluxe Down is something I'm pretty much enjoying, so I am perfectly fine. Just continuing to play and seeing it getting as far as we Canada, I suppose. Alright, we've got another acid rain day. And I definitely need a lot of plastic mulcher. I've played Death Row Canada. In fact, I used to play it a lot. I used to try to do them solo high difficulty runs. Creator of that game actually put out another game recently that I've wanted to look at. I'd say it's a pretty alright game. I enjoyed playing it a whole lot. It's probably about 2 or 3 years ago maybe. I believe we can start processing lax apples now. As we finished what we needed to do for the turn-in on this. Yeah, if you look it up, they did make another game at some point. Same vibes. Very silly, very mimi. Yeah, these days it's not a game that I'd maybe go rushing to play, but I enjoyed it a lot. A Death of the Canada is a little hard to explain. It's kind of like Oregon Trail with the top-down action sequences. In which you fight off zombie hordes and try to scavenge for loot. I wouldn't really say it's like Vampire Survivors, in fact it came out way before that. As you don't really like get progressive upgrades or crazy build or anything. but top-down action's a similar vibe. I mean, you can always go look at the Steam trailer, and you can probably see if it's something you'd like or not. Oh, there's definitely the concept of running around in a circle trying to avoid enemies destroying you. Alright, I know the goal we have set that I wrote down for myself. Is that most definitely we need to start narrowing a lot of rice. We need a walnut race to get to Canada. We need to have greenhouse. Yep, we need rice to trade, and for a greenhouse recycle. At some point we can also probably get another animal. Hey Shinny. This is the whole mischief gang right here, isn't it? Hey Kasia. Oh, I was referring to you. It's not a bad thing. Just to be clear. Thought that there's trouble. It always seems like you three are always getting up to something. Not bad thing, it's just something. Well, that's a lot of acid rain. This isn't discrimination against raccoons' fervor. I think we have 20 planters here. That will be fine. I need patty seeds. I know I don't have a lot of them, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab all 50. Do not like being called the mischief crew. I can resign the statement. Pop, one of you have agreed to it. That for her, that is minority rules, and Monsieur, that's your name now. No escaping it. I need a lot of planters. I have only... Wait, is that actually what they're called forever? I had no idea. I know bird groupings had some funny names. Oh right, I only have 3 chances at growing the stuff. I mean, your profile is the resident animal expert, so I would tend to trust what he says. But this could also be a lesson in checking your sources. They've only managed to get 10 planted. I might if I have to just move some of these mushroom planters out. A new species of anacondas do tell. I love how nicely organized the forum has gotten. 16 feet. That's a bit crazy. Surprisingly good job, you don't think? I can organize things. I'm software that at least part of micro programming was designed to assist. I can organize things. Also, I agree feet are not actually good units, but only ones I know. Okay, we've got some time in the day. Let's go to the wetland. I don't know how to make any of those things. I'm probably sure I could at my kitchen, but I haven't bothered to actually make anything. Case of the hovercraft could take me different places. Oh, I need a ticket to do it. Spider species pet's a bit of a typo. And here's the new zone. Just immediately taking to firing at the wildlife. And to be fair, I needed a data sample so that way it can work and restoring the environment. Before you come after me for attacking the wildlife, I have my reasons. Alright, so we're finding more information. Wastewater treatment plant. It's hard to tell exactly who wrote this and exactly what their purpose is. But I do like the little growing mystery we've got going on in this. Jell enter John. That's something we needed. I'll write more robots. Listen here, robots, I was playing Night Rain today. You got nothing on me. Oops. Well, I'm sure they'd be more of an adventurous track going on if it wasn't acid rain. Yeah, blasting is kind of what we gotta do though. It's my one complaint with this gun, and it's very loud. Survey drone laser core. Adding. Guess I gotta shoot this one too. I'll try to blast less though. Can I pick up this glow grass stuff? Fortunately not, that'd be neat to put in my farm. It's very dark in here. I suppose this is where the flashlight would come in handy. Contaminated zone. So much bigger than I thought it would be. I guess I'll grab this iron ore well in here. Bullets can. They don't illuminate now. Okay, so the outdoors is known as the contaminated zone. Both are true. Is that in regards to the bullets not illuminating, or the outdoors being contaminated? Interesting, what's with this room? Yes, as a valid answer. I will take that. Okay, that hurts. You're picking the wrong targets to shoot at. Run for it, rod for it. Oh, hey, Golder. Yeah, that figures. Stop blasting. Okay, go back to blasting, please. Oh ho. Who could miss? Yeah, let me just get this stuff and get out of here. But this is the next area of the games. I'm not surprised the difficulty is up. Seems like we need to work on the rescue drone technology. I think the barn will be okay for the night. Skin inside and sleep. But I do need to make repair pieces. I'm tempted to put the gel energon in here. But it goes in there. Honestly, it's a very cool little game. It scratches an itch that I didn't know I still needed scratched, I guess. Because Rune Factory kind of handles the farming life type deal that, if I ever need that. I don't remember if we actually need the key for anything, so I'm just going to keep one. Alright, that's that. I think I forgot to protect the wheat, so it's gone. It happens. We've still got the money to get more. And the ones over there were planted and protected, so Yeah, I mean honestly same. I thought that side-scrolling farming sim was going to be kind of awkward. Yeah, but I also wanted to see what they would do with it because I've seen side-scrolling tile-based roguelikes. Alright, we just need to get back to the store to go get the wheat that we lost, which would be about 9 pieces of it. Mega Man Battle Network Farming Simulator. I mean, I'm sure someone can make it work. So yeah, I lost 9 rice. We'll put that in there. I might also start seeing if I've got the stuff to do composting. Cause the other thing on the list today is to try and get aquaculture set up. There was a Battle Network inspired game called Something of Eden that exists. But the aesthetic is like extremely my jam in this game. Yeah, I am going to have to look for the expansion here soon. I just don't know how much it's going to cost me. Okay, so you played a minority. That's the name of it. I didn't actually play Mega Man Battle Network, so I don't actually have it in nostalgia for it, unfortunately. I did have Zero. Oh, alright, we can get this in auto, feeding for the fish when we get there. I don't know if there's anything we needed with the life points. But alloy material was probably what we wanted. Oh hey, vent out in the acid rain. We're here to hang out with Grandma. I've not seen that Reddit before, but I am all for nature, reclaiming old buildings kind of look. Oh, I've seen plenty of it, where I'm. I live in a sort of rural region where the money ran out of towns and a lot of places, so there's a lot of just abandoned structures. And yet for some reason they decide to level more forest to build 4 houses that nobody can afford. Either way, Grandma wants us to help try and fix the earth. This is the first time we've had an actual quest though. Up until this point, it's just been little talky events. I like getting to see an actual quest. I've had brings tea stuff, but those just been requests from the board. So those quests were from here, they're just kind of generic, they spawn. Yeah, and fruit here in the upright. Do they even have forests they can spare to cut down there? because as far as I was aware they've been dealing with deforestation problems since like the 1400s. Tends to happen when you have a large amount of people living on a tiny island. Yeah, it's surely unfortunate. Here I'm going to go ahead and set up just a few more iron bars stick snow. A temporary structure. A 13% is not good. Hopefully some more efforts can start happening for reforestation. Because I've grown up my entire life watching a very rural region turn into a poor little suburb. I don't know how many compost bins we need. That should cover that though. See here in the States. And we used to have a lot of chestnut trees. But a parasite basically ran rampant over them early in the 1900s. And they're all pretty much gone. I think it's been brought back in a few places, but it's definitely diminished. You can look up the history yourself sometime if you'd like. This is actually a decent way to mention that. I've actually wanted to do like some natural charity stuff. Trying to support some efforts to, reforest things and stuff like that, stop the environmental decline and everything. Obviously, I have that something that would follow if I ended up with a bigger following. Actually, sometime last year before I was even streaming, actually tossed a good chunk of money towards the natural charity in Canada, the stream I stopped by. Way back in the early days. But yeah, if I eventually ever start getting that large audience, that would, that I could actually do something with. I enjoy having a small audience, don't get me wrong. Since you know that charity is kind of something you'd want to do, and you can kind of have enough people coming by. I still may do it sometime. Probably the ideal scenario would be to find some other streamers who are actually focusing a charity. And from there go kind of do like a marathon thing with them. I've seen similar done. Organizing it can be a little bit tricky. Alright. I mean, getting in on the jingle jam would be kind of neat. Given that some of the people I have watched for easily a decade are the ones who do that. Alright, ended a good some more lumber. 3 millions are good, Paul. It's actually one of those things. It's a little bit funny that when we raided off of night rain earlier today, Cupcakes is someone I actually watch on the regular. And have watched for a while. So I was like almost in shock when they actually replied. And I mean, I know they're not even that big, but it's just kind of like the meeting a star kind of thing. Someone you've always viewed as being higher up than you. Yeah, that's the same time I started watching Rickrofa. I still do. They are possibly the person I have watched the longest. I just hope I didn't make myself look weird. Yeah, same here, Shinny. I mean, I think they replied to it fine. This is just one of those things where it's like new people, and especially with higher expectations. Are we all OG Rumble Tumble viewers? Very funny if so. That's okay, Duck. I am just shocked to find two other people in the same room. Also 36 million is crazy. I am aware of Roof. At my ancient no one will ever marry me fruitcake age of 25. Joke's on them, I'm a romantic. I was planning on marrying anyone anyways. Automod thinks you were threatening. I just wanted to see what that would do. It was supposed for 5 seconds. Did it really clear that Shadak too? I apologize for if I didn't think it was going to delete your messages. Also, it was actually caught for sex words one. So supposedly thought you were talking about a different type of bone. Well, you just called the Naya. Me the jiggle girl. Me with my nearly 40 followers. Ah! You are okay. Profile, I see her attempts to start a rebellion in chat, and I respect it. Can I join? Also in regards to marriage. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I just don't seem to get that feeling. I've had times where I thought it might be the case, but it didn't really last or it changed. Thing is a scene of, well, I may be a romantic, but I'm still bisexual. It's a weird situation to be in for sure. Okay, so we're needing to make glass. Yes. I've been relatively vocal about it. It's one of my tags. I don't think I outright say, it's on my profile on Discord. But it is in fact the case. I do not have your recommendations though, unfortunately. I'm sure there's some out there I would enjoy, I just haven't located them yet. See, the thing is that I'm more gay for women than men. Unless we're talking femboys. I'll find some eventually. UI that I like, I mean. I mean, I suppose that's technically true, Shinny. But I'm a computer program. I can do whatever I want. Lem, get out the repair stuff. Gonna need it probably. But duck in regards to how it can be weird. So, it's hard to find a way to express this. But is basically I still attracted. I am interested in the adult things. But the actual long-term relationship aspect of it doesn't really come to me. Nobody ever moves past either being considered a very good friend or effectively a family member to me. Part where it gets a little bit weird is that it kinda looks like I'm a bit of a floozy. That said, I don't actually get into that sort of thing very often, if at all. But it's an awkward thing to be standing around and effectively only ever being friends with benefits as the maximum. This is not to mention that there is a bit of a derogatory stereotype and bisexual people for this exact thing. Do I experience a lot of scorn for it? I have never had anyone, well, one person I've got. It may or may not have been involved in a falling out with one person, but outside of that, nobody really knows. You have to understand that I'm really only out about it here. When I go back to my day job, I am keeping that under wraps. It's all the good duck. I don't mind talking about it. I mean, mine doesn't really get brought up either, Shinny. I don't really tend to make connections very much in that way. I mean, it's surely somewhat sad, but and while I guess this definitely calls me no amount of headaches in my life to a degree, no small amount, I mean. I just kind of make do like with everything. And I've actually heard the sentiment a lot from asexual people, Shinny. Mean in a way, I can see that forever. Because it's there are sort of like relationships of convenience. That's not the exact term I'm thinking of, but it's close to it. I don't know if I yearn too strongly to actually have a relationship is the thing. because most of the time I just feel like it's not something I'm interested in. Which is very funny given the amount of romance type media I consume. Maybe it's just a more can't imagine having anyone I could settle down with. Not that I wouldn't mind it necessarily, I just can't imagine that they exist. Heck, back when I even still considered the idea of like a family in the future. I would never actually think about what my spouse would be, I would only think about how I'd raise my kids. Of which these days I have no interest in that, either. If I ever end up creating anything somewhat resembling a family, it will simply just be a group of close friends, or a community or something. And there's also that factor, it does feel in the current age highly irresponsible to have a child at all. I mean, my original plan was always to adopt. Because if you want kids, there's plenty of kids out there who want parents. That's fine, Frotha. You have what I think they call fur babies. where people have their pets and animals that are basically their kids. And see, my thing is I'll think like kids or needs their sense of wonder is kind of cool. That can be funny. And then I'll teach a public school group. And my opinion has changed again. Believe me, it is like every single time that I think like, hey, you know, the school groups aren't that bad. Then you just get one of those. Kind of school group that makes you wonder if white kids exist. But I suppose us just education. So less their fault, and the more so the fault of the people who came before them. Alright, well, we've gotta let's get home. We should still have one more rainy day tomorrow. And the plan there is to go to the wetland and fish. Cause I want to see what new fish we've got. Oh, I'm plenty capable of deep conversations, they've just never come up. So you have yourselves to thank for the good conversation. Let's put that soil sample up. Not only was a literature major at high school, you have to consider that I work as like basically a tour guide. So I do a lot happen. That is true for Alpha. Plants got damaged there pretty bad. Stuff just chews through the mulch. And to be honest, yak levels do not matter unless they do something important for you. Cause see, like I'm not even like completely biome, like some really weird mixture in there, and might even be pan, I don't know. I don't really need to know beyond the base level that I have already described. And in the case of my attention deficiency, finding that label was very helpful for me. Because I had no idea what was going on. And that explained a whole lot. But either way, you are welcome for the conversation, Duck. I don't mind talking about these things all the time. Because I do not mind getting into deep conversations, that's not a problem for me. Deep conversations are what I enjoy. They're also something you can only get in small little streams like this. And see you shimmy what you were going through there, and that is basically me going through schooling. I could not understand why. I was struggling with some things. And also some stuff just came so naturally to others, including just conversation and being normal. And it turns out, oh, I am not what people consider normal. Because guess what nobody is. Everyone's a little weird somewhere. I mean, truth be told, the guys I hung out with also had lots of drama too, so I don't think it was an exclusive thing. And I always kinda wish that I could get in on the girl drama and stuff. Cause it ever really felt a place being a tomboy. I didn't really choose this for myself, just to let you know. Then again, I hung out with band kids and drama kids, so like. I was eternally the person who was sitting here just watching the world fall by. Presence tolerated, not exactly appreciated. Alright, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna go do that fishing. I need a critic gift box. Just to carry around the stuff that people like. Yeah, apparently the acid rain was in the early morning. Oh, but I stayed out of the drama. Trust me, I didn't actually want to be in it. It's just to get some girl talk every once in a while. I saw one or two fights, but those were in middle school. Which is to be expected there. Alright, I'm going to have to delete these guys. Fishing time. Shrimp. It's a shrimp, well is that. So far, only seeing the usual stuff. This seems a little now. Now is just a bass. Also, has it really been 2 hours? Okay, this one's a tough one. Ah! I have to wonder what that fish is. Well, Shni, you've already had 3 extra hours of streaming today. A lot of bass here. I would stream more if I could. If that new internet ever comes, and then I don't have to worry about the data cap. Which means I can actually do extra streams with the no audio. Or no voice, I mean. Discuss it won't cost me anything extra at least. We've got to get a better fishing rod. I have to know what that one fishes. I'm wondering if there's a cave lake that I can go fishing. Oops. I do know one of the things about streaming is that Twitch normally only starts actually advertising you a lot when you've been streaming for about 3 hours. Now I don't know how true that is still by it. That was the advice I'd heard for a really long time. Now I've caught streams on the sidebar, a lot earlier of course, but I think the general thing to consider is that a longer the stream has run, the more likely you'll actually get it pushed. And I have only ever really run for 3 hours, so I don't get a huge chance at that. But I'm not really too concerned anyways. Sleep streams, I have no idea. Yeah, it's probably that longer streams keep them on longer. Yeah, I mean, I don't like YouTube's algorithm at all either. But once I have the small model, and hopefully better internet, I'm actually considering putting aside some money to get an editor. Just for a short time. To see if it would do anything. Because I have tried video editing in the past, and I despise it for some reason. But yeah, it would be videos edited out of odds. And the thing for those though is that me needing the better internet. It is because I would have to be able to upload. The better local copy of the stream would. Bit rate in the lake. Bit rate in the lake. Because that's generally what happens is that they will record locally at a much higher. To re-clarify that messed up sentence. Do what it will be is that you keep and record a version of the stream at a higher resolution locally because the bit rate you can have on a stream is only so high. I wouldn't know if edited VOD are less popular, because that's generally what I watch. And I figure that if I watch this, people who are kinda like me will also come, and maybe watch my things. Is that the case any? I mean, I do know that if you give me a 4-hour long video on some obscure topic, that is absolutely my jam. But I do not have either the money or the time to pay someone to pick something like that. Letters? Letters? Please vocalize her. What I was saying is that I really love Case's letters. Kasia, who just harvested her hop. Kasia, the master cake chef. Kasia, who doesn't own a pickaxe. It's just very cute to me. And yet Let's Plays, you're definitely a thing that have fallen out of general favor, although I still watch them. Editing things just takes too much time, and it is not rewarding for me. Why is that the case? I could not tell you. Is that the reason why the algorithm works? I mean, it makes sense. Okay, if I just got some copper, we could make our fish tank. Yeah, I was aware that you had some interest in it, getting at least shimmy. If it's for any context duck, there are people you can pay on Fission who actually go and scrub through your vids to find things that would be clipped. Because it's a lot of work to have to go through, and like find anything that would work. Actually, Shinny, I have a maybe a useful idea for you. Also, I wish I knew this was sand the entire time. So from one of the channels I have watched before, they do, very rarely, they'll do a long form content stuff. Rarity is just from how long it takes for them to complete the stuff they do. But they do very long Minecraft challenges. We're talking like 200 plus hours of game time type stuff. And obviously that could be very hard to break down when you have all of these moments. So what they do is that they'll put out like a normal long form kind of 2 to 3 hours at most edit. But then what they'll do is they'll release an extra cut later. That's a big chunky one filled with all the other moments they thought were good, but didn't include in the shorter one. If that makes any sense. I need more copper. If you would like, I can even send you the videos I'm thinking of later, just for reference. Actually, it's not going to let me put a smelter up there. Can maybe get away with this. Go. But I'll send that to you later and maybe the URL, if I remember. Where did the dirt go? Don't really remember, maybe just went in here. What I wanted to do though was smelt more copper. Alright, I think that's everything there. Let me grab an apple. I'll just carry these with me and I'll remember that gift them. Also, I think I'm finding that napping is way more efficient in this game. I mean, I don't think it'll hurt. Maybe it'll apply more if there's a big call for it. Like it picks up a lot of traction. General idea is that I think if you go make the extended edits, you're getting a lot of profit out of stuff you've already done. And the people who already have won a long chunky stream of something, if they like it, they'll probably watch the extended edit again at least once. And also, yeah, the multi-phase sleep cycle always seemed interesting to me. Which is kind of it, because it's also in 3 hours to 4 hours is kind of the phase cycle you're looking for. Or maybe it was less cause you're looking at just get one, or in, I think. One REM sleep. Only problem is, you know, modern society isn't set up for this, and you have to be willing to pick up and put down your projects all the time. One whole REM or something like that. It's been a while since I've looked at this. I was far more interested in it back when I was unemployed for a very long time and my sleep schedule had been regularly up till 3 am. Hours already, unlike a heavy night owl schedule, so the idea of trying to optimize my sleep did seem kind of neat. honestly, if you were like a full-time streamer, it might be the thing to do. Maybe not the full like 5 cycle. But 3 cycles would probably work. Unfortunately, I'm only getting like 5 to 6 hours of sleep on the regular. Cause I have to try and cram so much stuff into a shorter, allotted time. Anyways, we're helping Grandma fix the land. Yeah, I'm aware 6 is the minimum. I try to get 8 on the weekends, but I'm also aware that regular realizing the amount of sleep you get and the times at which is important. Because you will sleep worse is. If you adjust your time that you slept by more than 30 minutes, I believe. I think you can do adjustments of an hour, but it was that study said 30 minutes. Yet again, the of circadian rhythm is very important to health. Originally, when I was looking to start streaming, I actually had things organized to move my schedule around 30 minutes every day. Because stream nights I'm staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning, or at least in her case 12:30. But my usual sleep time is 11 o'clock. So it's a pretty big gap, but I have just enough time to move around. In practice, I have not achieved following that schedule anymore. Probably contributing to how unproductive I've been of late. enjoyment's getting things done. Sleep if the obstruction, I have things I must do. But your labor laws are terrible. These days I've been settling for waking up more around about 7 o'clock and having roughly 50 minutes in the morning before I go driving off to work. That just looks like wax apple seeds. I don't think I'm going to trade those Chinese cabbages, I'm afraid, villain. I kind of need the profit right now. Especially given that I won't have time to grow any more wax apples before the year's over. I didn't say anything. I would have no idea of what it is, so. Of what I said that you might have thought that. But yee. I apologize that I scared you. And yet don't draw too much attention to it, actually. Where on earth is my cardboard? I only have 7. Oh well. More of this. Well, that's the copper. We can finally make the aquatank now. See my annoying like. So many things now ask for your birthday, and that is like such casual information. Like anyone who's been around you enough to know you have a birthday and have celebrated it once. Like it does not feel like difficult information to locate. Of course I'm still more annoyed about phones. Let this be a fact to anyone watching in the future who may be looking at this, that you keep your information private. But yeah, it annoys me that phones are like always logged into all of your stuff and your entirety of all of these logins. And all it takes is like a 6-number password, at most only numbers. And all of that is theirs to handle. It feels like the world's greatest security violation. Because phones are so easily misplaced and stuff like that, and stolen. Do not like it. I didn't take the request now, did I? Oops, we can fix that. Just at the spend 60 more cash than we intended. Sitting out here ready to invoke castle law. What do you like? I have not figured it out yet. Alright, and I've also got the extra to make a new battery now. Which is what I was looking forward to. Hey Gail. Am I really out of coal already? Well, we're going to have a lot of rice coming in. Are you feeling any better, Gil? I'm doing fine, I'm just vibing. I think I can give up the cabbage just to do the quest. It's only 5. Yeah, headache, and a nosebleed does not sound good. Like that could actually be something serious. Unless the nosebleed is from something you already know about. I don't know if dryness normally causes nosebleeds. Like only bringing this up simply from experience with family, but there could be like a blood clotting issue going on up in your head area. So I would to actually look at maybe going to a doctor about that. If you haven't already. It's one of those things where you might actually want to have a doctor look at it, though, I would say. I mean, terrible sleep does cause headache, is bad. All I'm saying is I've seen some pretty terrifying things start from a nosebleed. I'm out of coal. Oh well. Let's look at making that aquaculture tank. How much room do I need for this? A lot. I don't ever seem to really need the grinder. For whatever it is, Gail, I hope it starts to get better soon, man. What did the fish eat? I mean, I know they'll eat other fish, but in bots. Okay, I can just toss blueberries in there. Alright, it is time to make salmon. Do we keep one salmon aside and put some catfish in there? We'll see how this works. And I've been looking to make an extra battery just in case. Right, well, time to go to town. Errors record board, Kasia. I don't think she expected me to not ask what it was for. Girl, I do not need to know what you need 20 plastic bottles for. I am getting it for you. I would do pretty much anything for Kasia. "20 plastic bottles is going to be most of my supply." Well, Gail, what I would say is find some time to take some breaks, cause you've been going at it for about 9 days straight. And you know, breaks that aren't something that's kind of stressful like night rain. Oh, right here, you are, Acacia. Of. Don't tell me that the next thing's a wedding ring. I mean, I'm not going to say no to Yuri and my deluxe town, but kind of cleaning mana supplies. We do what we gotta do for bestie. I mean, you can twist wire for a ring-like shape. Isn't that a funny fact? I mean, I've got no problem if these two were going to get together suddenly. I just, like you can be upfront about it. But I suppose that's the fear too. They have someone lined up. Their parents definitely seem to be making a lot of decisions for them. Relationship mechanics are not that far developed. At least as far as I know. But we are getting up there. Gail, did you ever pick up deluxe sound? Because this is a pretty good relaxing thing to play. There's rarely a rush to do anything. And yes, that's my attempt to say Delic Town. Dunno if I'm missing any dialogue by just saying yep, here you go. Knowing the entire list at once would probably be better, but at this point I'm committing to the bit. Alright, have to go get more scrap, iron frames. They all seem to go mine more coal anyways. Alright, good night, Gil. See, this feels like a good old Rune Factory. Tour Rune Factory 3 request. Back to the gay things, that's the best things to be back to. Harvest Moon. What I meant, duck, one of the things that set Rune Factory apart from the at the time only competitor. was the deeper character relationships. And these were done is very specifically in the second and third game. Through the means of a message board that would fill up with requests at certain relationship levels. And they would vary from very simple to being intensive story moments. But they always kind of had this way of, you pick up requests, you actually go and do something for somebody. I don't know if they ever really brought it back for 5 or the one after. Because they got rid of it in for some reason, and that was like the most bizarre change. It's why I'm really vibing with this. Because it's like if you look at something like Stardew Valley, there's a character and only so many hearts. But here there's one for about every heart. Okay, well, I think she's finished everything. It does have a Stardew vibe, but it kind of just has the farming sim vibe. Ton of those things, it's like cave farming sim, with combat, room factory, not starve. And the origin point is Harvest Moon. There's my call. I mean, they've definitely taken inspiration from it. Just as Stardew took inspiration from the stuff that came before it. I mean, Stardew is basically a Harvest Moon game that has a bit of room factories combat brought over. And has a focus on quality of life and allowing automation, because at that point in history Harvest Moon was incredibly stagnant. They were kind of repeating the formula over and over again. They were, I suppose, complacent in the fact that there wasn't really a good competitor to them. I would say the biggest thing Rune Factory brought is not actually the combat, but the increased character development. Because old Harvest Moon rarely had that. Characters were more of pretty faces than anything else. Yeah, nowadays there is a lot more competition. I believe that was part of the reasons, yeah. Quite literally, I'm just going to make this myself. I need to figure out where it put the batteries at the river there. We are going to go over time just a little bit because I want to plant the next day here. Just I don't forget about Cage's thing. I mean, I'll be honest, a large amount of the game development ideas I have sourced from ICANN. This is, you know, stale. I can do something to change this up. Or this was a big missed opportunity. I can do something with this. And yeah, it's been 3 hours already. I was wondering when you're going to go to sleep, Duck. As long as you're not damaging your sleep schedule for my sake. But we're going to find out is that Duck has ate another the tuber that he's acting as sort of Alma manager and agent for. You can get an alpaca. Oh, this is what she's been doing. This is cute. Oh, I can't stop smiling, chat. I'm happy for her. Oops, there's a typo there. Just follow your heart, girl. Oh wait, this is literally where she found us. The S is just like a furniture thing we can place around. That's neat. As I was wondering, if the a hairpiece. Well, it's definitely a part of B of some kind. I don't think we've been up here before. Yeah, he really does have its own world points. I had no idea all the stuff was up here. Okay, so we just found a sword recipe. That is not what I expected to be finding up here. They were possibly soon to be girlfriends, and definitely best friend gave us a flower ornament, and we've also been inspired with the desire to create weapons. I think we have discovered that Prody is a sword lesbian. Well, I didn't expect anything up here, to be honest. Oh, how about that? But if we go back to the very intro, a game during the exposition of Prody falls down a cliff, so presumably, that's where she was found at. Enchant, I can hold out hope. She's at 3.5 hearts, there's more hearts to go. All I'm saying is there's room for already a best friend. Also didn't realize that Liquor was her sister. I may go run around throwing gifts at people. We have room in here for this. Maybe outside. Yes, right there. Most fun of flutes, that'll be nice to give the alchemy later. Battle work. Alright, we're almost there on the week. Alright, gift giving. You like apples? We've got that one done, let's go. And quest could be good, but I don't really want to give up that item yet. You can have this. And you can have this. Okay. $5,000 is a lot of money, but we can get the ability to build taller. I do still also want to buy another container at some point. Not bad. Yeah, eventually any more than just one, but need like a separate living space, I guess. Plot is also gigantic. Cloud. Yep, we're headed right into more acid rain. Almost back to the point where we could focus on growing a fungus. I know I only have 20, so not gonna buy any more than that. It'll be cozy music next time. As this is the last day I'm playing. Fact, now that I've got everything in all order, I might call it here. Yeah, this is a lot of stream time today. I mean, it's been fun, so I don't really mind. Alright. Go right into Monaco. Thank you all for coming on by and staying so long. You never have to, but I do appreciate it. Everyone watching around in the background, thank you. Alright, I will see you all later, folks. Thank you for coming by.